peace and prosperity of the whole humanity. Om Stapakaya Chadharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Stapakaya Chadharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, who came to establish spirituality, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, where Sri Ramakrishna has given spiritual instructions for all the spiritual seekers to practice spirituality in their daily life. Nobody need feel frustrated. Sometimes people see what is going on in the world, lot of violence, crime, hatred, but still we should not lose hope, and we should, on the other hand, focus properly on spiritual practice and make our life blessed. So today's topic, which I have chosen from the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, how the householder should tread the spiritual path. They always feel they can't really do any spiritual practice at all. Many times, though they are trying to do, they feel guilty because they feel they are not sufficiently sincere in doing spiritual sadhana. Well, there are many reasons for that. Sri Ramakrishna always encourages on positive lines. We should never get frustrated. On the other hand, the situations should make us more serious about our spiritual pursuit. Sri Ramakrishna tells a story. A fisherman threw his net into the river and had a large hole. Some fish lay in the net, calm and motionless, not exerting in the least to go out of it. They think they are quite safe. They are not aware of any imminent danger. There are some who struggle and jump out, but they cannot extricate themselves. Well, there are some more fish. They somehow manage to force a way out of the net. This parable has tremendous spiritual value. It explains three kinds of people acting in this world. First, those who are bound, they never strive to be free. There's another group, they are bound no doubt, but they struggle for freedom. And there is yet another group who have already attained freedom. So all the people can be classified under these three groups. Though all souls are one and the same in their ultimate nature, there are four classes according to their respective conditions. As I said, they are baddha or bound, mumukshu are struggling for liberation, mukta are emancipated, and nitya mukta are ever free, the special class of people who, though live in this world, they are not bound by anything. Sri Ramakrishna calls such men of spirituality as nitya siddha, ishvara koti. Well, majority of the people don't feel urge at all to undertake spiritual practice. That is, they are not yet awake in the spirit and do not therefore merit any consideration in any philosophical analysis or even ethical thesis. So they must be left alone till they attain to some maturity, and at some point of time they should become awakened. But some people, though they are very few, they have worked out and solved the problem of life. They have nothing more to toil for and attain to. There is another group which is extraordinary. It consists of experts, geniuses, persons who never slip and never have a fall, divine singers whose music is not marred by any disharmony. Among those who aspire for freedom, there are there who are in dead earnest about attaining liberation from the bonds of existence here and now, and like persons caught in a house on fire, dash out to save themselves at any cost. And there are those who have just begun to feel attracted by the idea of freedom from the round of births and deaths, and now and then strive a little towards it, showing promise of a steadily increasing interest and a more and more intense effort. So these two groups among those seeking liberation are in no way near equal in numerical strength. Anyway, these two groups can in a broad way be equated with monks and with householders, with those who have gone out of hearth and home, have renounced lesser loyalties, and have pledged themselves to stern pursuit of high ideals, and those who though cherishing a love for the higher life, cannot give themselves all over to spiritual pursuit because of the lingering pulls of worldliness in them, which compel them to rear a household and attend to its numerous demands, and yet amidst adverse conditions and unhelpful environment at times look up and yearn for purer airs. So the grihasthas, the householders, form the majority in this group. Looking at it from one angle, the mumukshu householder's task is an uphill one. Such a householder is being pulled this way and that. The animal propensities in him powerfully drag him to the sense world, while his higher aspirations draw him up in an attempt to make him remain attuned to the spirit. He is therefore alternately plunged in dejection and bathed in exhilaration. He is like a person who, with a longing to be dry and unwetted, has to get into a deep lake of water. While his yearning is to proceed east, he has to let his feet take him west. He has to attempt to do mountain climbing with a heavy stone on his back. His surroundings are often quite unfavorable to him. It did not cause one any surprise if he feels altogether smothered at times. But while all this is true, there is the other side to the picture, that in the providence of God, the householder who is struggling for liberation need not despair. He may even feel encouraged by the very fact of his being a householder. Sri Ramakrishna tells how it is advantageous of a person at home and in the family. Those who live in the world and still try to gain salvation or freedom from bondage, they are like the soldiers that fight from behind the ramparts of a fort, while the ascetics who renounce the world in search of God are like the soldiers fighting in the open field. These are the words of Sri Ramakrishna you find in the Gospel. To fight the enemy from within the fort is more convenient and far safer than to fight in the open field. When you are fighting in the open field, you are at the risk of many crises. Many temptations, many distractions may pull you down and you may lose your way. Before soldiers go out to meet the enemy, they learn the art of fighting in their barracks, where they don't have to put up with the hardships incidental to action in the open. So avail yourselves of the conveniences of your home life to raise your spiritual condition before you take to the austerities of ascetic life. Sri Ramakrishna's specific advice to the effect that the conveniences provided by home life should be used to raise one's spiritual condition is to be well noted. Good spiritual families are very essential for a good progeny. The great saints and great men of character are born of spiritual families. You take the case of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sharda Devi. The parents were extremely devoted to God, very sincere, spiritually minded, whose target was to reach God. The householder, he is not a person who has nothing to do with spiritual life. There are people who generally say that we are householders, we can't do anything. Like that, they show a sign of frustration. Well, he should not get into that kind of depression, because if a householder takes spiritual ideas and follow them in his home, it's also called as ashrama, grahastha ashrama, they call it as grahastha ashrama, a place where the householder practices spirituality. So one has to definitely control oneself and try to analyze what is the cause of his more and more worldliness, and immediately he should take step to desist from such pulls. While the mumukshu householder has no doubt to swim against the current, it is not that he is without compensating advantages. For one thing, the Lord in His mercy is very kindly disposed towards him. Once Sri Ramakrishna said, a devotee who can call on God while living a householder's life is a hero indeed. God thinks, he who has renounced the world for my sake will surely pray to me. He must serve me. Is there anything very remarkable about it? People will cry shy on him if he fails to do so. But he is blessed indeed who prays to me in the midst of his worldly duties and worldly entanglements. He is trying to find me overcoming a great obstacle, pushing away, as it were, a huge block of stone weighing a ton. Such a man is a real hero. Well, the life of the householder is of course not a carefree affair. He can't take things easy and just drift along. He has his stern duties to perform. An escapist householder is highly blameworthy. Even on his second visit to Sri Ramakrishna, M., the author of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, learnt a valuable lesson in regard to the right discharging of his duties by the householder. The Master spoke to him. You can find this in the Gospel. He said, Pratap's brother came here. He stayed a few days. He had nothing to do and said he wanted to live here because he found the whole atmosphere was serene and peaceful, and this person thought how nice it would be if he could stay on here. So he expressed his desire to Sri Ramakrishna that he would love to stay there. Sri Ramakrishna said, I came to know that that person had left his wife and children with his father-in-law. He has a whole brood of them. So I took him to task. Just fancy, he is the father of so many children. Will people from the neighborhood feed them and bring them up? He is not even ashamed that someone else is feeding his wife and children and that they have been left at his father-in-law's house. Sri Ramakrishna said further, I scolded him very hard and asked him to look for a job. Then he was willing to go for searching the job as per the advice of Sri Ramakrishna. Duty should not be discarded. Duty, performance of duty, purifies the heart. And through performing duty, one learns many lessons. Debts must be paid. A householder has his debt to the gods, his debt to the ancestors, his debt to the rishis, and his debt to wife and children. So many debts. In fact, the householder's life starts with debts, all types of debts. The discharging of each of these debts is considered yajna in our Hindu philosophy. It's a sacrificial rite that is binding on man. In Hindu ethics, mention is made of 5 such yajnas: Bhuta yajna, Nri yajna, Pitri yajna, Deva yajna, and Brahma yajna. And these are all honored as Mahayajnas, and only the devoted performance day by day of these rites enables a man to live in harmony with the universe where he lives. The yajnas require a man to teach Holy Scripture to earnest pupils, meticulously carry out the religious rites incumbent on him, feed animals and render hospitality to guests, and such other noble acts. The householder's fulfillment lies in his willing and enthusiastic response to the 100 calls on him hour by hour. A runner wins a race only by running every inch of the track marked out for him, not by running away from the sports field. But if a householder is asked not to shrink from the challenge of duties and responsibilities, it does not mean that he should get buried and lost in the endless cycle of the petty calls on him. Here is Sri Ramakrishna's saving advice in regard to this. He said, live in the world as a mud fish lives in the mud. One develops love of God by going away from the world into solitude now and then and meditating on God. After that, one can live in the world unattached. The mud is there and the fish has to live in it, but his body is not stained by the mud. Such a man can lead the life of a householder in a spirit of detachment. 2 persons may do the same work but different attitudes, and one may be damned and the other saved. The maidservant in a rich man's house does her work with exemplary devotion and high efficiency. Sri Ramakrishna tells this incident. She even calls the gentleman's son my Hari. But she is intensely aware that neither the home nor Hari belongs to her. Her true home is in the village of her birth, and her heart is set on that home. Householders must cultivate this quality of the maid servant, and while making their hands serve the world, keep their minds on God, regarding house and family as not belonging to themselves, but to God, whose servants alone they really are. That's the attitude one should have. One should cultivate that spiritual attitude, then one would be able to pass through all hurdles and obstructions in the life. So the honest householder too is a perfection seeker. He must with a stern resolve reduce his oscillating between the flesh and the spirit by increasing leaning towards God. In other words, he must make the soul pan in his balance steadily increase in weight. This will help him attain ultimately to a state of total immersion in God. And the wise words of Sri Ramakrishna must bring to him a new strength and a sense of hope. Sri Ramakrishna says, giving instructions to the householders, after the birth of one or two children, husband and wife should live as brother and sister and talk only of God. Then both their minds will be drawn to God, and the wife will be a help to the husband on the path of spirituality. Money, wealth, gold, these are half the worry of the householder. Speaking about the value to be attached to money, Sri Ramakrishna gives different instructions to monks and to men of the world. Sri Ramakrishna says, money is like poison to a monk. If he keeps money with him, he has worries, pride, anger, and the desire for physical comforts. Money inflames his rajas, which brings tamas in its train. Therefore, a monk must not touch gold. Lust and greed make him forget God. For householders, money is a means of getting food, clothes, and a dwelling place, worshipping the deity, and serving holy men and devotees. It is useless to try to hoard money. With great labor, the bees build a hive, but a man breaks it and takes the honey away. The items on which money is to be spent by householders, as detailed by Sri Ramakrishna, are significant. Of course, money has to be spent on food, clothing, and dwelling, but these must not take away all the money. The householder must spend a part of his income on the Daivopasana, that is to be used in the worship of gods and goddesses, and sadhu seva, serving the men of spirituality, and devotees, serving the ascetics and helping the people who are in need, who are in distress. So, if a person uses the money in such fashion, then God Himself bestows grace upon such a person. So, one should practice these spiritual values sincerely. He should not label himself as a householder, and he should not feel that he is helpless and he cannot do anything, and spiritual is not for him. Spiritual life is not for him. He should not think that way. So, Sri Ramakrishna has given a lot of instructions to the householders how they should tread the spiritual path. Sri Ramakrishna said, blessed indeed is the householder who performs his duties in the world, at the same time cherishing love for the lotus feet of God. He is like a man who carries a heavy load of 2 mounts on his head and at the same time watches a bridal procession. One cannot lead such a life without great spiritual power. But a man must practice some spiritual discipline in order to be able to lead a detached life in the world. The advice of the Lord in the Gita must ever be remembered and acted upon. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, "Fix and steady your cogitating mind on me alone, and also let your intellect, which is determinative, penetrate me alone. Thus acting, you will attain knowledge through my grace, and you will hereafter, after death, live in me alone, that is, exist as one with me." There is no doubt about this. If you are not able to fix the mind on me in such a way that it becomes steady, then bring the distracted mind back again and again and seek and strive to attain me through the yoga of practice, which consists in remembering me. That's why I always say, keep constantly repeating God's name. That's the one way of practicing yoga. Never mind how many times the mind runs away, but all the time try to bring the mind back and remember God. Be aware of things, actions, what you are doing, and then always set your goal. Target should not be forgotten. Then everything would be all right. God will be gracious. He is impartial. He loves His creation. All the beings are His children. So He is described the father and mother. In fact, the real father and real mother is God only. So, if we pray to God sincerely, God will surely bestow His grace on us. So let us try to follow and not get frustrated in any manner. Page 761, the master at the houses of Balram and Girish. About 1 o'clock in the afternoon, M arrived at Balram's house in Calcutta and found the master asleep in the drawing room, 1 or 2 devotees resting near him. M began to fan the master gently. A few minutes later, Sri Ramakrishna woke up and sat on the bed with his clothes in a rather untidy condition. M saluted him and took the dust off his feet. Master, tenderly to M, said, "Are you well? I am feeling rather uneasy. I have a sore in my throat," the beginning of his cancer of the throat. "I suffer very much during the early hours of the morning. Can you tell me how I may be cured?" In a worried tone. "They served pickled mango with the meal. I ate little of it." "How is your wife? I noticed the other day that she was looking rather sickly. Give her soothing drinks to keep her nerves cool." M said, "Green coconut milk, sir?" Master said, "Yes, a drink made of sugar candy is also good." M, "Since last Sunday, I have been living at our house with my parents." Master said, "You have done well. It will be convenient for you to live at home. Since your parents live there, you won't have to worry so much about the family." While Sri Ramakrishna was talking, his mouth became dry. He said to M, like a child, "I feel a dryness in my mouth. Do you all feel that way?" M said to Jogin, "Is your mouth also drying up?" Jogin said, "No, perhaps it is due to the heat." Jogendra Apariyada was an intimate disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, and later, after the passing away of the Master, renounced the world. Sri Ramakrishna's clothes were still untidy. Some of the devotees smiled. Master said, "I look like a mother nursing her babies." All laugh. Well, my tongue is drying up. Shall I eat a pear or a jam roll, a kind of juicy fruit? Baburam said, let me get a jam roll for you, Master. You don't have to go out in the sun. Yam was still fanning the master. Master said, you may stop now. You have been fanning a long time. Yam said, I am not tired, sir. Master said tenderly, no. Yam taught in a school in the neighborhood. He had a little recess at 1 o'clock, during which he visited Sri Ramakrishna. It was time for him to go back to the school. He saluted the master. We shall stop here. So, one has to do spiritual practice wherever he is. If you don't do practice, you can't get peace, real peace. You should always, mind will be worrying for something or other, and always under some kind of stress and strain. That's how the whole world is going on. You can find peace only in God and God alone. There are different types of people. That's what Sri Ramakrishna is explaining. One type of people, they don't realize they are in danger. They think they are okay, but they are caught in the worldly net. They are getting more and more involved, and they are in for greatest danger. That is the one set of people classified. Those who have that tendency, they are very much worldly, and they get totally lost in that worldliness. But some people, they realize the danger of being in the net, because experiences reveal them that the way they are involving in the world is really dangerous, and we should not get into more involvement. So they struggle for getting out of the net. So there are such type of people are there who feel really the worldly life is causing more suffering, and so they struggle sincerely. They yearn to get out of the net. And some people, they, as soon as they come in touch with the world, immediately they sense the danger. Before they are being caught in the net, they just jump out and get out. So like this, we have got so many types of people doing spiritual practices. What we find, and Sri Ramakrishna himself explains them. For some people, spiritual practice doesn't exist at all. They think it's all simply fiction. What is spiritual practice? Let us enjoy the world. As long as we are healthy, as long as we earn money, we can be enjoying the life. Like that, their philosophy is different. Nastika Vada. The atheists, they talk like that only. Even you can loan the money and enjoy the life. Borrow the money and enjoy. That type of people. But some people, they struggle really. They seek the holy person, and though they are householders, still they are spiritual, because they turn the mind from the worldliness to spirituality. That's most important. So they struggle, because they struggle sincerely. God is more gracious to them, seeing the sincerity, and He shows the ways how they are saved from the dangers in life. So we find such people also. And advanced people, they, through their spiritual practices, they have definitely have the experience that God is saving them in all situations, and they remain peaceful and happy. They are not disturbed at all by any external circumstances. They keep singing, doing kirtan, and engaging themselves in worship and spiritual activities. They are not interested anymore in social gatherings and worldly type of talks. If at all they have to talk, they have to discuss, they discuss some spiritual matters. That's how the study groups are very important. In fact, in Houston I told them, you study the scriptures regularly, have a study group, read Vivekananda, take his ideas and prepare an article. And that article one can discuss. What's your impression about that statement, what Swami Vivekananda had said, what you want to say, like that mutual consultation. It gives lot of enlightenment. In fact, it opens our wisdom, and many things we will come to know by mutual discussion, and that's the way we should do. So these are the process by which we should come closer to God. In fact, those who are coming to Sri Ramakrishna, they are all really special. In fact, Sri Ramakrishna himself tells, those who really want God, they come to me. The others, they simply go away. They can't tolerate this. In fact, he told that example also when some people came from far away Calcutta. They were all sitting in front of Sri Ramakrishna, and Sri Ramakrishna was talking. Then they become intolerant. They said, all right, we'll wait for you in the boat. You hear and come, but we can't sit here. They go away. That means their mind is not ready. The mind is totally distracted. So when the mind is not in good condition, even the urge also will not come. You won't feel like doing spiritual practice at all. On the other hand, you would love to see TV, you would love to see other things. In fact, we had gone to one home in Houston. Big house is like a palace. And of course, they were good people. That's true. That's all true. Good, they treated us well, and they gave good dinner. We enjoyed everything. Then just we inquired, well, what are you doing now? The Yajamana of the place, he said, oh, I have taken retirement. I had little more service, but he didn't want to continue. I'm satisfied. So I took retirement. And wife is also not much interested in going to job, etc. So both of them are staying there. They have got a son. He is doing well. They have raised him and they have given education, everything. Quite okay. But then how do you spend the time? How do you spend the time? Because the wife was telling she is interested in garden. She showed the garden also. Very good. She was maintaining garden, and she was telling this small tree gives lemon. I make lemon pickles out of this. They are so delicious. And I saw also, garden was very good. And whole time, she doesn't know how the time passes away. And it keeps her healthy also. The other man, what is he doing? he could not answer directly. But he said he is a campaign director for the Democratic election campaign. Politics. Then, oh, why are you interested in politics? Why did you go to that politics? He said, oh, you have to show, so we are something, because we are minority. So, like he was giving his own argument. Point is, it's nothing to do with spirituality. Just they want to spend time in a joyous way. One fine day, go to heavens. That's all. That's their life. So, I could see that. Huge home, very big home. Only 2 people. You can have small home. Small homes are available. Position. People should recognize. All sorts of inbuilt imaginations are there. You can't help. Instead of spending so much money for that house, for the maintenance, etc., they could help a person. They could help a person who needs education. So many ways you can do help. Is it not? Only one son. It is not permanent, because every soul has to realize the truth. Every soul is potentially divine. So, but it takes long time to realize, and they turn back afterwards finally. That's why Sri Krishna himself tells, Abhichet Suduracharo Bhajate Mam Ananya Bhak. So that verse is wonderful. Even if he's the most wicked man, at some point of time, if he takes on repeating my name, he will come to me. He should not be considered bad anymore. The moment he starts repeating God's name, purifies him and makes him more and more strong. And the nature of God's name is that it has got its own way of attracting the soul. That's why in our ancient days, they used to put God's names to the children. But nowadays, it's all forgotten. So God's name is very important. Everybody behaves in his own way. It depends upon in what way you train the mind. Is it not? Training the mind is important. Lot of wealth they may have. What do they do? They carry anything? They can't carry anything. They neither help, neither carry. It lies there in the bank. That's all. After somebody will take. Just like bees, they collect honey, toiling so much, but finally somebody breaks it and takes away the honey. We are passing through lots of disturbances in the world going on. Probably the time has come for another incarnation. Who knows? The way the world is going towards destruction, terrible it is. And we shall stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean, and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous reign tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For He being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.